So once again, I totally messed up on my video, but I wanted to say, I had a little bit of absence from here, which I'm sure, either somebody noticed or no one noticed, and that's okay. But for Christmas, we definitely are, full bore into it. And one of the most shocking things happened for us though a few years ago when my stepfather, he was very very good with money. He purchased and built this cabin that was, gosh, I don't know, 10,000 square feet, something like that, a 10-car garage. He had skidsters and down there. He had heavy machinery down there. And I mean, I don't know about my brother and my mother because all three of us own it, but I wanted to make it kind of like a rental. And this is before I knew or ever heard of an Airbnb, but like during the winter, you rent it out and freaking, there's so many winter activities to do up there in Grand Lake, Colorado. And, in the summer, it's beautiful and there's a lot more activities to do up there in the summertime. But the thing is, it's Grand Lake kind of is like a one way in, one way out. And so when this fire occurred, I think that was the first fire in the history of Grand Lake. It crested over Rocky Mountain National Park. And there is a way to get out of Grand Lake through Rocky Mountain National Park, but you're not going to take that when there's a big ass fire. So I am shocked that there were more fatalities. And the only fatalities, which I don't want to make it say only, because every life is just precious. It was an elderly couple who had lived up there their whole lives, and they died from carbon monoxide poisoning, is what we later found out, and it's much better than being burnt alive or something. Like, it was just sad. But you know what, you can replace a lot of material things, or you could just sit back and say, I feel defeated at this point. Um, about maybe a year before the fire, uh, my niece, who graduated with I think her master's, brilliant, brilliant young girl, young woman. I love with all my heart. I love all my nieces. Um, she had went up there with a few of her friends, just get away and not like party huge, but just like have a little get together, a little party and all that. And when she arrived, the stair steps were about 3 feet away from the house. So she immediately calls her dad, my brother, and he's been an electrician for like 35, 40 years, something crazy like that. And, he's a good handyman and, could point out a lot of what needs to be fixed, what can be fixed. But he's like, don't go in there. He's like, I'll drive up there, and it's about a 2 hour drive. So he gets up there and finds that the foundation is shifting. And there is what the insurance called is earth movement, which they do not cover. Go figure. And so they braced the house, and I don't know what that was for. Like, hope for the best, because after they braced the house, they dropped us. No more insurance. We couldn't get coverage by anybody. And it was like, what the fuck? So we're sitting on it like that for a year, trying to figure out what we're going to do with it. And we start moving out like the skidsters and heavy machinery, things like that we could save. There was one skidster that we couldn't save because it just wouldn't start, and it was an old one. And then this fire happened, and this fire seemed to be very, very selective. And one of the worst things happened that I remember was that this fire confused a lot of deer, and there's a lot of moose up in Grand Lake. And after all the devastation, they found a pile of dead buck, deer, moose. Somebody even said they found, like, that a bear was in there, but they all succumbed to the carbon monoxide. And they all just died right there. They just got turned around. They got confused. They didn't know how to get out. That was heartbreaking to me because I absolutely love animals. And so when that happened and we lost our place, the news was looking for every single person who lost their place. And I'm like, I'm not going to go on the news. Screw that. But just to kind of give you an idea of what to be grateful for in life, I want to show you these pictures, and they're pretty messed up that you don't realize the destructive power of certain things, and this was pretty bad. So, let me show you guys here. All right, so this is the house, or cabin, excuse me. Now you could tell all around. I mean, this is just dry as can possibly be. And then the cabin, which is this is just the side of it, and this would be facing west. And all the property here, is owned by us. Like I said, there were a few things that we needed to do. Put in the window here, finish the siding for the garage, and we weren't far from it. And so it was just a beautiful place that we would hope to celebrate Christmas every year. So here's the next picture. The fire department sends us a picture of our property. It looks like hell on earth. I mean, that is the real coloring. This little hue of purple, all that. I mean, you're seeing these trees bend like toothpicks. And they're not, they're pine trees. They're not very big at this point, but you just see them snapping. And I remember my stepdad was so funny. Me and one of my older cousins, one year when I was a little kid, like 14 years old, we were throwing axes at one of the trees, and he was like so upset. He was one of those guys that absolutely loved nature, loved animals, wouldn't kill animals. And the only lumber that he would use is lumber that he purchased that was already prepared to build the cabin right here, which you see in the background. And this is before I had caught on fire. But when you're surrounded like this, I mean, and as much property as we owned, you knew. And we try to, like, what we used to do is we used to get the skidsters and push the trees over to kind of clear away for the, if a fire ever occurred. But yeah, no good for that. So this is the destruction. I mean, it just twisted metal, solid steel beams twisted like if it was nothing else. I mean, I know under here somewhere is one of the skidsters, but this is just a portion of it. So because of earth movement, thank you, insurance, for quitting on us. I mean, it paid perfectly for you guys, but for someone like us who were just, we loved our getaway. It's so serene. I mean, you could see some of the other trees. Like, this is just the amazing thing. Like, all the trees around here are just scorched, but then you see how green some of the other trees are, and it's like, it really was a selective fire. And when you get like such a hot inferno, sometimes you'll see those tornado fires. That's what occurred here right by our property. There's another house a little bit of ways behind, like going this way, and untouched. So it was like, fuck. So yeah, we still have, this big plot of land, trying to figure out what to do with it. And yeah, nothing comes to mind. So I wanted to share that with you guys because that was kind of my absence from YouTube the past couple of weeks. I love Christmas. I love spending it with my family. And it's just kind of like a drag, just a bad memory. But I had also gotten sick, which shockingly surprised the living hell out of me. I haven't been sick in over 10 years. I used to work at the VA, after I got out of music to do something. I just didn't want to sit at home. And on Christmas Day, it's like I couldn't hold anything down. I wanted to feel better because the last message I had made was Merry Christmas. And that's when I was feeling sick. I was sweating from my back. I was like, I can't hold anything down. But I wanted to wish each and every one of you guys who have ever subscribed to me or even watched a video of mine, thank you guys. I mean, I can't thank you guys enough. I appreciate each and every one of you guys who participates in leaving comments and all that. not teased, but I've said, coming in March, I'm definitely going to revamp it a little bit in what I plan to do. Hopefully, you guys will like when I continue to get some subscribers, because even though I don't get paid for it, it's still like some fun, little hobby. Would it be nice to get a few bucks from it? Yeah, sure. Who doesn't mind making a few dollars? Uh, but whatever you're going to put out, it has to be, you know, I know there's some subscribers or some creators that can kind of get away with, you know, very little content, very little production value, but, that's few and far between. So I don't know what type of charismatic charm one has to bring in order to be like, oh yeah, you're killing it. Look at your subscribers. But thank you guys for the support. And I would always give it back in the form of, I've already done one giveaway and I want to do more. But every time I come up with something, nobody like wants to do it. So I'm not full of shit when I say that. I mean, I would make myself look like a dumbass idiot if I'm sitting here saying, oh yeah, I'll give something away and not give anything away. That's just fucking false advertisement. But nonetheless, I love each and every one of you guys for, viewing my other videos. So thank you. I appreciate it. Kind of been off my game here because I keep on leaving my fucking big old self like this while the video is going and you guys can't see shit. Last video, though, I kind of purposely did that, a video I'm going to upload after this, because there's really not a lot going on until the second half of this. So I hope you guys watch. But anyways, thank you again for your support. And yeah, I'm back. I'm going to be doing this a lot more again. So anyways, enjoy the next one.